What is going on, New York Giant fans? Welcome back to another roster bubble video. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Turn on post notifications so you know when a live stream pops or drops. Appreciate y'all coming back. Also, share this out. It is dead time in the NFL offseason, so sharing it out gets it out to more people, more NFL fans, more Giant fans, and you get to chat with more people. It works to your guys' benefit, works to my benefit. It is a beneficial relationship. With that being said, roster bubble video again. In these types of videos, I take players on the roster bubble, I talk about their background, then I go to their competition, how they could win a spot on the roster, how they could lose a spot on the roster, followed up by a prediction. So if you give me 1 second, we're going to get our next profile/candidate up. And today, it's another tight end, Jordan Akins. And I think this is actually one of the last, the tight end room, Andre Miller, I have not done yet. So we're almost finished with the tight end room. But I guess I'm doing it out of order because, well, I don't want to give you guys, I want to jumble it up for you so it's not, tight end position. So now it's going to be Daniel Bellinger. Oh, then now it's going to be Ricky Seals-Jones. I wanted to randomize it for you guys so you don't know who's coming the next episode. Of course, until you see it scheduled on YouTube for a premiere. So Jordan Akins, he's been in the league for a while now, and he's an older player. If you look at his history, he was drafted at 26-ish years old. He was drafted in 2018 as a third-round pick out of UCF. Now, why was he 30 years old? Or why is he 30 years old, you ask? And why was he drafted at the age of 26? That's because he had a baseball career for a little bit. So, as you guys know, we do cover some Yankees on here, even though he wasn't a Yankee. So, he actually was a baseball player for a little bit. He was selected by the Rangers in the third round of the 2010 MLB draft, chose to pursue a baseball career, and with that being said, he struggled in the minor leagues, didn't really hit well over 4 seasons, about 218. That's not a really good average if you're a baseball fan, and never rose above high A baseball. So he retired after the 2013 year and then went to play at UCF. He had that offer before, but he turned it down. So then he goes to UCF. Never really put up major numbers. Most was his last year, 4 touchdowns, 515 yards on 32 receptions, but it increased year by year, so there is that. But then again, he's never been a big receptions, 1,000 yards tight end, and I don't expect him to be with the Giants. So gets drafted by the Texans in 2018, 17 receptions, 225 yards, no touchdowns, 68 catch percentage, and a total of 16 games. He started 6 of them. Then you move to the next year. He played 9 of the 16 games. Started 9 of the 16 games he appeared in. 36 receptions, 418 yards, and 2 touchdowns with a catch percentage of 65.5. 2020, the COVID year, started 5 games, played in 13. 37 receptions, 403 yards, 1 touchdown, and a catch percentage of 75.5. Then 2021. Played in a total of 13 games, about 3 games started, 24 receptions, 214 yards, and 0 touchdowns. If you want to look at snap percentage and stuff, his rookie year, he got 36% of the offensive snaps. Then the next year, 61%. The next year, 52%. And then this past year, 39%. So, generally, for Jordan Akins, he's not a blocking tight end. Now, if we were talking about a Jason Garrett offense, he may not make the roster. But because of his ability to be explosive in the passing game, well, Brian Dable and Joe Shane might just put him on the roster. It depends what they want to do. Do they want to keep more blocking tight ends? Do they want to keep more pass-catching tight ends? Do they want to keep guys that could do both? We'll see, but we all know that Jordan Akins is more of a pass-catching tight end. I think that's pretty obvious. In terms of competition, here it is. Chris Myrick, Ricky Seals-Jones, Andre Miller, and Austin Allen. Austin Allen is the only one here that has blocking upside. Andre Miller, it's still undetermined because he's coming from a school that's Ivy League, played a bunch of doctors, accountants, nurses, whatever. So he's making the transition to tight end, which we don't expect too much from him. Of course, maybe he's a developmental project for this regime. Chris Myrick, Dolphins, Bengals. He was once a Giant, then came back as a Giant, caught his first touchdown with the Giants. So, with that being said, I don't expect much from him, and he's pretty much a veteran camp body at this point. Ricky Seals-Jones, pretty much a tight end 2 at this point in his career. Doesn't really have any good blocking skills, so it's mostly in the receiving game for him, and that's a guy that Jordan Akins is going to be competing against. And Austin Allen, as I mentioned, has more blocking upside than these 4 guys that Jordan Akins is competing with, including himself. How can he win? Show some skill as a receiving threat, possibly as a blocking threat too. Now, once again, I just mentioned he's not a blocking threat, but if he does well on his blocks, maybe he finds his way up the depth chart. Now, I know Austin Allen and Daniel Bellinger were playing with the ones in minicamp, which tells you, oh no, Jordan Akins is with the second team or the third team. Is he going to make the roster? That has yet to be determined, of course, because we have not gotten yet to training camp. We haven't gotten to the preseason yet, so we'll see what happens. But he definitely has to show some skills as a receiving threat, because that's what he does best. And you can never have too many weapons. And if they're going to a pass type offense where they don't need as much run blockers or blocking tight ends, Daniel Bellinger can sit back and develop while Ricky Seals-Jones and Jordan Akins handle the duties at tight end. But how can he lose? He doesn't outperform other vets in the receiving game, loses reps when he's blocking, and drops passes with the 1s and 2s, possibly 3s. Dropping passes, in my opinion, is his worst way of not making the roster, because one of his, I would say, strong points is in the passing game, and that's his main theme, for lack of better words. He is a pass-catching tight end, and if he drops passes, how do you expect to make the roster? But he has to outperform some of the guys that are in that room. Chris Myrick, Andre Miller. I think him and Seals-Jones, now we get to a prediction. I think he makes the roster. I think the tight ends are going to be Seals-Jones, Jordan Akins, and Daniel Bellinger. I don't think Austin Allen's going to make it. I don't think Chris Myrick's going to make it. Austin Allen, they'll probably keep on the practice squad or try to slip onto the practice squad. Hopefully they're successful with that, because Austin Allen, I really like as an undrafted free agent. But because of the pass-catching ability by these tight ends, that's who they're going to stick to. Those 3, Bellinger, Jordan Akins, and Ricky Seals-Jones. But be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Turn on post notifications so you know when a live stream pops your drops. Appreciate y'all coming back. Do all the good stuff, and we'll see you next time. Peace.